Hello? Okay. I think everything is working. Yay! Hi! Hi! Oh, hi! How's it going? Oh, there we go. Hi! Hi Relo! How's it going? How's your week been? Hopefully well. Boof, boof, boof. Alright. I'm trying to make sure everything is looking good and behaving as it should be. I hope it is. I very much hope it is. Let's see. It's been a hot minute. It's been, what has it been, a week? Oh man. I thought I was gonna have everything ready to go. Once again, I did the thing where I was like, oh, it's gonna take me, what, like 10 minutes to set everything up, and then it didn't. So, I'm kind of, going through it. But I am back! I am back from vacation. I'm doing my best here. Boof, 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 boof. To make sure that everything actually is good and ready. I feel so fucking rusted. I really need it. I am very tired because I've been up all night reading. Oh man. What have you been reading? Oh crud, you told me the name of the book multiple times. The cool sci-fi one. I am blanking. The cool sci-fi one. Was it that one? It's the same one, or was it different? Wandering in? No. It's not Worm. You've told me multiple times. I'm so desperately trying to remember. What did I get a text about? All right. Boof, boof, boof. Yeah, I just got. Oh, do I need to turn my volume down? Let me do that. I just got back from vacation. I've got pictures. I've got pictures, I want to share them. It's fantasy, and yes, it's the Wandering Inn. Fuck yeah. I was trying so hard to remember that one. I'm glad that I got it, even if I thought that I didn't get it. I'm glad that I had it. Oh, man. Hello, hi, Flame! How's it... Oh. Hi, Flame! How's it going? How has your week been? Buff. Fantasy, yeah. Was it that one? Is that the one you've been reading? Fucking valid. I got a new, Emily Henry book. I got a new Emily Henry book for the plane ride, which was time and a half trying to get home. But I got a new book for the plane ride, and I've been, Emily Henry, it's been friggin' awesome. I love Emily Henry's books, but this one's interesting. It seems to, she has gone on record before to say that she likes referring to what she writes as women's fiction. It's not just a romantic comedy. She specifically likes writing women's fiction, which I think is nice. It is a romantic comedy also. It's not like it's not that, but I like that she calls it women's fiction. This is definitely more solidly in the women's fiction than the romantic comedy side, which I think is fantastic. I love a good bit of, what am I being called about? I don't know who's calling me. They're gonna have to leave a voicemail. I don't recognize the number, so it'll have to be fine. It's been good. Exciting things have been happening. Hell yeah! Allowed to share or just leaving it at that? Either way, totally fine. Fuck yeah, dude. I love that. Yeah, shit has been heavily going down these past few chapters. Hell yeah, I love when that happens. That's what's going on in my book too, where the whole conceit of it is that she's trying to break into biographical storytelling. So she's interviewing with this woman, and the woman the whole time, as far as I'm in the book, the whole time has been like, oh, yeah, so if you want to know the story of what happened to me, you need to know the story of what happened to my great-great-grandfather, because he's the one who really started all of this. And she's like, okay, but I'd like to know your story too. And finally she's telling her story. She's finally at the part of the story where she's like, okay, and now I'm born, and now I can talk about what's going on. It's so good. I love when the story like finally pops off. It's so fun. I have a girlfriend now! Yes, that's awesome! Congrats! That is the most exciting. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh my god, congrats! That's so cool. Oh man. That's really awesome. Oh, that's so fun. Hi! Hold on. Hi! Hi! How's it going? Oof, oof. Blah. You can see and meet her if you were ever active in the Discord server I invited you to. Way to call me out. Fair though. I keep joining other people's Discords too. I'm in, what community am I in? There's a guy on YouTube that was making his own VTuber model, and I'm like, I like your content. Let me join your Discord server, and have fun. And I don't think I've ever said a single thing in there. Like, not a single thing. I'm so bad at communicating with people. I'm so sorry. Coming in after a comp grind on Overwatch, already matching my peak from before and rekindled love with a certain character. Ooh, which character? Wait, which character? Awesome. Oh, that's fun though. Did you comp grind? So you're grinding for a competition, or what did you get out of the competition? Wait, which one? Buff. Yeah, I have pictures though. I have pictures from vacation. I'm so excited about this. You guys can't see me flapping my hands, but I'm so fucking excited. My dad remembered to give me, sorry, my brain is all out of whack. Hold on, give me a second. Do you guys remember, like, I don't know, 3, maybe 4 months ago, I was talking about how my family owns this little silver digital camera, and because it was a thing for a little while that everybody wanted these digicams, when I looked online, the prices for this thing were exorbitant. Like, $300 for this little silver digital camera. Well, when I went on vacation, because I went with my family, my dad brought the camera. So I have all of my vacation pictures are taken from my little digicam, and I'm so friggin' happy about it. For no good reason. It's not even that I subscribe to the, like, I'm not a camera person, but so I don't really mind. I'm not looking for that fuzzy early 2000s camera quality too much. I'm just happy that I have a means to take pictures with that isn't my iPhone. You know what I mean? So I put together what I think are the best pictures, including a couple of pictures of me that my brother took that I think look really nice. I blurred out my face though, but so I want to share, and I put them all in I threw this thing together in 10 minutes. It's literally just pictures on a white background, so forgive me for it looking funny. But I wanted to share them because I'm very excited about it. Buff. Just competitive, so matches that you assign a rank and skill ranking, but not a competition type thing, more like a tournament. Oh, okay. Well, did you do well? Did you rank up? Is that right? Buff. We see your body moving in excitement. That's enough. Fair enough. Fair. Oh man. Yeah, I want to share these pictures though. I think they look really pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna give me a second so I can make sure that this is popped up properly on my end. I think it is. Hopefully I'm not gonna. Hold on. Let me switch this over to a different screen, so just in case I have the wrong Firefox tab pulled open. Trying not to get myself again. Okay. And yes. Awesome. Okay. Oof. Yes, I got back up to peak rank. Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. And still have 2 placement matches, so I might go past my personal best. Fuck yeah, dude. That's exciting. Oh, that's so exciting. Hell yeah. In the story, there's been a massive plot of the Circle of Thorns, a house of minor lords and ladies, amassing power to take control of Israel? From the 5 families through force. Ooh, that's exciting. Oh, man. Do you know of, let me look up her name real fast. Hold on. Tamora Pierce? Is that it? Yes. Do you know of Tamora Pierce? Not trying to pull you away from your book. Sorry. I was trying to remember something really fast. Not trying to pull you away from your book, but Tamora Pierce has really good fantasy. She's got really interesting world building, and really intense characters. The plot to amass power to take control, that happened in one of the books. I can't remember which one. That was what I was trying to recall. But it's similar to that. If you like that kind of story, I know this is the peak of your book, but like, if you like that kind of story, you might also like Tamora Pierce. I like her, so. Maybe one day we'll have a talking hands toggle. I kind of really do want to have one. I had planned for one, I just ran out of time. How dare you leak the face of that old dude? Yeah, I do not know who this is. I actually didn't even take into account that he was like front and center of this picture. My bad, old man. Massive apologies. What was the country name? This was Canada, so I have pictures from Canada, and then we also hit up Vermont. Yeah. We went, this is Montreal. I wasn't in for Montreal. My parents had a week and a half for vacation. I only had a week because retail. So, they were in Montreal more than me. This was just the first picture I took on my digital camera. And look at it! Look at how pretty it is! Look at how pretty! I'm so happy! So, yeah, let me move over because I'm gonna be looking at the picture, so I want to make sure that my thing is set up for that. Hold on. Buff. The country that sounded like Israel from the book. Oh, fair. Buff. IZRIL. It does sound like that, huh? Oh, crud. After an ambush of Magolia, they chased her out of the human part of the continent. For the current moment, she's heading to the Drake lands, whom the lords of Israel hate. Damn, okay. Oh, this is like fantasy. You would definitely love Tamora Pierce. I think you would very much like Tamora Pierce. Existing No, it's just a fantasy name that probably just accidentally happens to share similar sounds. You missed the previous message. Which one? Oh, they took control of the Guild of Assassins from the grips of the Magnolia, head of the Rhine. Oh, Magnolia's a person. Okay, I thought that was a country. Head of the Reinhardt family, which is one of the 5 families. Damn. This is very, very fantasy. Hell yeah, dude. That's so sick. I love a good fantasy book. I know... Brandon Sanderson? Maybe Brandon Sanderson might be his name. He's supposed to be like the king of fantasy, but I had a really hard time reading his books. I'm gonna be so for real. Because everybody's always like, oh, if you like fantasy, you have to read Brandon S. I don't know what his last name is. And, I know that he's really good at world building, but his characters, they just need a little bit more work. To be fair, I started with like the first book in like a very long series, so it's entirely possible that maybe it got better after that, like the character writing, but it was hard. It was difficult. Magnolia's fantasy. Brandon Sanderson, aka the fantasy guy. Yeah. I hear really good things about it, but every time I try to read the book, I'm just like, I wish your characters were better, man. I prefer character-driven stories over world-driven stories. So like things like Dune don't have a lot of interest to me, but things like Ender's Game do. You know what I mean? To pull 2 science fantasy novels. How dare you stream in secret? I told you guys that this would be happening. I said I wouldn't have time to make a schedule, but I'd be streaming today. Granted, I was a little late, and I apologize for that. But, buff. Let me just double check that everything looks good. Yes, okay. Also, hi, hold on. Hi, Willow, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. All right. I want to show off my pictures. Can I show off my pictures? I want to show off my pictures, please. We might finally need to fix the ping for the server. Yeah. that might be a good thing to do. So Willow is informed. I don't think... Oh, Willow, are you on the server? I have no idea who... I gotta check that thing. No, it was... What's their name? What's their name? I'm remembering like 3 streams ago when I was like, I have a Discord server, and everyone went, you have a Discord server? But I don't remember who moved over. I apologize. Yes, I have a Discord server. Okay. Yes, you can show your pictures in the class. Thank you! I'm so excited! I'm so excited to show off my pictures. And I think they're really good. That's another great thing. I think that they're really good pictures. I'm like really excited about them. I just think that I like the compositions are really pretty. So I want to show off my pictures. Buff. Okay, hold on. In response, they poison Tyrion's 2 sons as blackmail and are making it so he can't leave his estates, otherwise they burn it down, and any alchemist who tries to make a cure gets killed. It's always the poor alchemists that get in trouble in these situations. Have you guys noticed that? In every fantasy situation, the poor alchemists are the ones, like, getting absolutely fucking shafted. You have some social media account? Yes, I do! Okay. Pictures! Look, okay, so this is Montreal. We didn't really get to be there. I say that. I didn't really get to be in Montreal too much. I didn't. But I did go to Otaku-thon! Completely by accident! I didn't even know that this was happening. We were walking around Montreal after I got off the plane, and I'm like tired as fuck, and I keep seeing all of these fucking, I keep seeing all these fucking cosplayers in the city, and I'm like, why are there all of these cosplayers in this city? Is something, like, we went to a Studio Ghibli themed cafe, which I only took pictures of on my flip phone, and I haven't transferred those over, so I don't have any photos, my bad. But we went to a Studio Ghibli themed cafe, and I was like, oh my god, those guys are cosplaying Evangelion. That's so crazy. I guess there be cosplayers out here. Hell yeah. And then we're just walking around the city, and I'm like, wait a minute. Does everyone in this city like cosplay? Or is there something happening today? And the thing that was happening was fucking Otaku-thon. So I went. I paid for the Sunday ticket, and I wandered about. I didn't even have a cosplay. This is the first anime-themed convention that I have been to in 10 years that I did not cosplay to, and oh my fucking god, it is so weird to walk around a convention not dressed in cosplay. I don't know if it's just because like my previous life was as a cosplayer, so people would recognize me, but I'm so used to like being stopped to get pictures taken, and I was just like cruising around. I was just cruising around the con hall. Nobody stopped me for shit. I was like, oh man, weirdest fucking feeling ever. It kind of feels like being like a stranger in your own house. Does that make sense? It was so uncanny feeling. It was so weird. Not that it was a bad thing, granted. It wasn't bad that I wasn't being recognized, why would I? But like, it just felt so fucking uncomfortable. But yeah, I went to Otaku-thon. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking cool. Sometimes it's the archivist too, yeah. Montreal's the best psychobilly bands in Canada. Really? There were a lot of artists I noticed, just like people out there doing graffiti and stuff. It was cool as hell, not gonna lie. And any runner, a profession which, in this world where people deliver stuff, who tries to deliver the cure, gets killed or their legs broken, so he has to either wait for the cure or sign a magic contract. Oh man. That's intense. All right. That's actually really cool, though. Wait, that's a sick idea. It's the city of cosplay. It's the people's natural state, like a moth to flame. Yeah, I'm actually so sad, though, because there were a lot of VTuber events going on. Sadly, I missed the Iron Mouse one because she was on Saturday and I went on Sunday because I didn't know that this thing was happening. But there was a little VTuber meet and greet happening, and fucking was it Raichi? Let me double check to make sure that I have the right person. but I think it is. Yes, it was. It was Raichi, or I think it's Raichi. It could be Raichi. I'm gonna be for real. I don't actually know what her name is. I think it's Raichi, but she was doing her VTuber meet and greet, and I saw her on the screen, and the line was short. But the problem was, I saw her right when I walked in, and whenever I go to a convention, I always have like this 20-minute period where I need to. It's kind of like when you get into a pool where you need to acclimatize your body. It's like that, but for me in convention. So I'm walking around, I'm like, oh, cool, Raichi. I used to really like her Vocaloid covers back in the day. I don't really follow her so much as a VTuber now, but it would have been cool to meet her and talk about her old covers. But I was too scared because I was acclimatizing. So I didn't. I was just like, oh well, I guess that's that. And then I continued walking around. I circled back to the booth where they were auctioning off a computer, like a pre-built computer that was wrapped with her face, and she had signed it. And I was talking to the guy, and he was like, you know, she was here doing meet and greets. And I was like, yeah, I know, I saw earlier, but I wasn't able to come up and say hi. And he looked at me and he went, you could have just said hi. I was like, okay. And he's like, there was like only 7 people online. That would have taken maybe 20 minutes. If you like her, you could have said hi. I know, I was scared. So it was a real missed opportunity, but also, what can you do? Buff. It's been this huge thing going on where he was waiting for anyone to get him that cure, which has been heavily unlikely since there are thousands of assassins around this. So wait, they're just assassinating anyone who tries to get him the cure? Is that what's going on? Hi! Hi, Catmain! How's it going? How's your vacation? Good! I'm talking about it now! I think probably as I imagine you've seen. Buff. Demon. Is that one of the people in Overwatch? This gives me an idea. Moth would be a cute pet name for my girlfriend that I now have for the uninformed. Yes, everybody applaud Flame. Flame got a girlfriend. Yay, Flame! Because I am Flame and she's attracted to me. That actually is very cute. That's adorable. Buff. Still better than Junkrat, man. Buff. Fallen in love with Saj. Which one is Saj? And ultimately led to this huge push of the Windrunner, Lady Firestarter, previous head of one of the 5 families, and Salus of Lights, one of the best alchemists making this run. Fucking good luck to him. We've seen what happens in alchemists in this world. Gosh. Oh, man. All right. But yeah, so there's Otathon. Also, I got a picture of, they had a little thing where they're all signed. This is Alien Stage, which I got really into for about 2 weeks. I was fucking I don't know what happened. I just like fucking hyper fixated on Alien Stage for like 2 weeks. So I was psyched. So I got pictures. These guys are so short, by the way. This guy, he's the tallest guy. I'm like taller than him by about this much. I just want to point that out. I think these are supposed to be the canon heights of the characters, and I'm taller than the tallest guy by this fucking much. That's insane. Right? Anyway. And then we went to, this is in Quebec. I just think this is a very pretty picture. I was just taking pretty pictures. I was just really excited to have a camera. So this is just an area of Quebec. Buff. Sojourn, aka Saj, a DPS hero, basically a cyborg woman with a laser blaster that has a railgun built into it. Ooh! Wait, that sounds sick. Wait, that sounds really sick. With a huge call to arms to weed out the evil that is the Guild of Assassins and get this cure to Tyrion, where many different factions pulling in what little power they have to have this succeed. Oh, okay. So maybe this alchemist might survive. That would be exciting, hopefully. Aren't they school kids? No. I could be wrong, but I thought they were all in their 20s. I'm pretty sure these girls are the youngest at 21, and I'm pretty sure he's the oldest at like 34. I'm pretty certain. I'm not confident, but I'm decently certain. I mean, they might be school kids in this particular photo. But in the alien stage lore, I thought they were young adults. I could be wrong. Buff. Reminder that height is relative. True. I took a screenshot of such today. I'll send it to you in DMs. Please do. Wait, I want to see. Don't worry, don't need to worry about Salas. He's a combat alchemist. Fuck yeah. That's like being a warrior priest. I love that. They're all in school uniforms. Yeah, I just clocked that. The author? Artist? I don't know what I would call her, but she has a AU where all these guys are in high school. So I guess to be fair, this iteration of them, yeah, they would be school children. My bad. Fair enough. My bad. The moth pet name made her feel fuzzy. It's a good one. Woo! One of the best alchemists in the world, let alone best combat alchemist with the potions he uses. Hell yeah. Okay, that's awesome. All right. But yeah. But yeah, I was just taking pictures because I love how pretty Quebec is. Because the city is, I want to say they said it was like 400 years old or something like that. So it's on the older side. Probably not as old as most of the places in Europe, but on the older side for like things built in America. Or, yeah, no, America, like the continent America. I'll keep that. Buff. Hope you had fun on your vacation. Thank you. Buff. But yeah. So I just got a lot of pictures of Quebec. This was a, I didn't say hi to you, did I? Sorry, I just kind of hi, how are you doing? Lise, hi, how are you doing? Sorry, I got very excited because I knew that this mural was coming up. This fucking mural. Okay, when I was in French classes, way back, like 10 years ago when I was in high school, we watched a like travel documentary about Quebec, and this fucking mural showed up in it, and everyone was like, when this mural was painted, it was so realistic that people would just walk right down the road. They would just walk right into the picture. And I was like, oh shit, it's such a realistic picture. I have to go see this mural. And I was very excited about it. And then I went and I saw it and I'm like, okay. It is very realistic. It's you can't see it in this picture, but this is the side of a building. So there are all sorts of buildings and stuff. It kind of looks like this street, where just like, imagine that this right here is the mural. You know what I mean? And fucking, there's a huge area here with like placards and stuff. I have a very hard time believing that anybody actually walked into this freaking mural. That said, impeccably drawn. It is a beautiful piece, and it is so pretty, and I love it quite dearly. It is a really good, just really good piece of art. But it is not that. It is not as realistic as I thought it would be, as like the 10 years ago 16-year-old version of me saw it in my head. You know what I mean? Still a really cool picture though. Really fucking cool. Buff. Gonna finish my beer and go to sleep. My alarm rings in 6-ish hours. Yes, please go to sleep. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or night. Bye, Judas. Far older Native American cities did exist until they were destroyed. Yeah, we went and visited some of those, like the very, very old structures last year on vacation, me and my family. We did visit the Wendake people in Quebec. This was a big thing for us. Everywhere we go, we try to go to like a Native American museum or pop-up, or if the tribes have something going on, we try to go to that. Like we've been to a couple powwows. Because I think I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. I am, or at least my ancestry is Native American. I don't know which tribe because my great-grandmother took that with her to her dying breath. She refused to tell us. So I don't know which tribe, but Mom tries to take us out to go see all of the native stuff, to try to get us at least somewhat in touch with that aspect of our ancestry, since we weren't allowed to interact with it, basically. So I do have pictures of that later on, but yeah. The Wendake people are cool as fuck, by the way. Although I felt bad for my mom. Mom has the very traditional native look with the like dark reddish tinted skin and the long straight black hair and everything. So and she had put her hair in 2 braids just because that's what she wears because it's comfortable. But when we went to go see the Wendake tribes, they've got like a little interactive experience thing where they take you on a tour and they like show you basically what happened and how their way of life has continued since everything happened and all of that. But our tour guide was a very fair-skinned, blonde-haired woman, and she started off the tour saying, yeah, so she's not Wendake, she's Inu, but she's like, yeah, I am of the Inu tribe, and I look the way I look because we were fucking decimated, and so my people had to basically take on brides and husbands from outside of like the traditional Native American clans because that is how you continue the lineage. And everyone was like, oh yeah. But she said it in such a way that I can imagine that a lot of people give her a lot of flack for this. But I look the way I look, so I'm not saying shit all, you know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, that totally makes sense. And then she would be like, yeah, but this is what someone would traditionally look like. And she pulled up an old painting of the Wendake natives of the Quebecian area. And I swear to God, she was trying so hard the entire time not to stare at my mother. And every time we walked around, all of the like very white tourists kept turning around and just going, just staring at my poor mom the whole time. This happens everywhere we go. I do not get that treatment, so I can only imagine how much that sucks for her, poor mom. But like, ugh, it was rough. Sorry, I've lost the thing. Sorry. Salas is also a transgender character who's trying to perfect the potion of shape change to transition. She has the transformation aspect down, but it doesn't last forever. Wait, that's actually so cool. God, I fucking love when fantasy systems use magic to talk about like the experience of being trans and whatever. That was the game that I haven't finished yet that I want to finish really badly. What is it called? In Stars in Time, where one of the characters is trans and did a whole transition. And the way they talk about it, because they have the religion that's like, oh, this is the religion of change, so it's totally fine to change yourself, and everything. It was so built into the lore. Fucking cool. God, I love when fantasy stories do that. I love your character model. The gears are so cool. Thank you. For a sec, I thought it wasn't a painting. Very fair. Fair enough. Oh, I also have a picture of myself in front of it. I've pixelated my face because I ran out of time to put my VTuber model over it. But yeah, you can see, so it looks a little bit more clear up front that this is very clearly a wall. But I like how they like took the bricks and they made it work with the way. It does look very realistic and cool. Also, there's a whole story about this dress, but yeah. I love the outfit, looks cute, cool gears. Thank you, I appreciate that. These emojis suck. Sorry, Relo. If I could get you guys better emojis over on YouTube, I would. I can't do it yet, though, sadly. One day. Boof. Yes, there we go. Cool, just double checking something. But yeah, this fucking dress. I have an outfit that I really like. It's a fully white jumpsuit, and I look absolutely amazing in it, in my personal opinion. And when I got out of the car, when I was dressed, it's just not everybody using the emojis from Twitch. Oh no. But yeah, when I got out of the car, there were blue splotches all over it that I have no idea how they got there. So I had to duck into a little area and get a new dress. And the poor lady did not speak French, or did not speak English, because I start every conversation the same way that I do when I go to Japan with, parlez-vous anglais? And she goes, un peu. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like doing my best to talk. This entire trip in Quebec, my entire family, we walk into somewhere and they all stare at me because I'm the one who took French for 4 years in high school. And I don't know French. I don't speak French. I don't know it. So I have to be the one conversing with everybody. And I don't know French, but I managed to order this friggin' dress. But the friggin' the lady, she's like, oh, there's only one size for each of the dresses. And I'm like, oh, this should be fine. This should be okay. I'm not too concerned. And I go and I put the dress on and I come out and she goes, oh! And then she does something that I sadly cannot replicate as a VTuber, but she puts both of her hands, kind of like if you make a C with both of your hands, and then she put it close together and she went, you're tiny. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. But yes, luckily I fit the dress. God. So I was able to wear this dress for a whole day. And now I have the dress, which is nice. And it is dry clean only, which means I'm gonna probably put it in a pillowcase and put it on the gentle wash and hope that it doesn't get ruined, because it was a really expensive dress. I think it was like $60. $60! So, yeah. Buff. All of the emojis. Rilo, you came back over to Twitch just to use the emojis. Fair, I really don't blame you. Buff. It's not the eating cat emoji, so nah. Fair. My sub ran out, so I have no emojis that can beat that. Oof, that's so sad. French Canadian is also different from regular French. True. Fair. Very fair. Yeah, I was doing my best, but I learned France French in high school. And I was told in high school that I speak French with a Spanish accent. I don't know if that's true. Probably not. But like, yeah, I can imagine. We did run into a guy. Hold on, let me catch up with chat first before I go into another story, which makes things more difficult. Very much so. Bye, Ira. Nice to see you. See you later. Thank you. Have a great day. Oh, hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and night. The eating cat reminds me of someone I used to know, and you don't use it with the same charm. Wait, that's such a mean thing to say. What is it? Maybe not. Maybe not. I have multiple cute emotes. Fair. The heart emotes, I think, all of the emotes of people just hugging a heart, I think are really cute. I think they're really nice. I also have slug cat emojis, but no one here plays Rain World. No, sorry. Buff. But yeah, I went into, at one point, my family, it was after the one decade thing, actually, they're like, we're gonna go try to find this waterfall. And I was like, okay, you guys have fun. And they're like, it's like a 2-mile walk. And I'm like, I have free will, so I've decided I'm not gonna do that, because I'm over walking. So it was a lot of walking this entire time. So I'm like, I'm gonna go walk into town instead. I'm gonna go try to find a coffee shop. Which I did, and I went into this coffee shop, and the owner was wearing a Colombian sports jersey, like soccer, football, I think they call it, the football jersey. And I went in, and I was like, do you speak English in French, obviously? And he goes, no. Just with the biggest smile, I'm like, parlez-vous anglais? He goes, no. I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to order everything. I said, can I please have a croissant? He goes, yes, in French. And then at one point he's like, do you want any coffee? We're in a coffee shop. And I'm like, and I'm trying to say, no, my mom is coming. She will order coffee. And I go, no, ma mère vienes? Vienes, by the way, is a very Spanish word. It is a Spanish word. I think it is a verb. It means to come. So I said, I said in French, my mom, and then finished in Spanish, to come? So, not my proudest moment, but this guy just kind of, still with that big smile on his face, just kind of cocked his head to the side and he said, Vienes? Oui? And I was like, ah! And I was like, I got my croissant, I sat down, my mom walks in, and she's waiting because there are other people ordering, and she gets up to the front, and I'm like, oh, it's my mom, to the guy. And she goes, in English, do you speak English? And he goes, no. And then she goes, in Spanish, do you speak Spanish? And the guy goes, and he has this smile on his face, and he just goes, oh, He's so fucking happy. And then he and my mom are just chatting it up in Spanish. At one point, my dad tries to get involved. He does not know Spanish, neither do I. But he's doing his best. And at one point, he gets the food and he says, thank you. And then he goes, oh, wait. And he pauses and he goes, merci. And the guy goes, no, merci, no merci. Gracias, no merci, no merci. Clearly only wanted to speak Spanish now that he had someone to speak Spanish to. So luckily I made that guy's day. He also made my mom's day because he was the only one in all of Canada that made a cup of coffee the way that she liked. So I'm just bringing people together. God. I have traumatized staring emote. Fun. I don't see you using any emotes with charm, damn. Americans when they had no car. We had a car. It was just, I didn't want to use the car. It was close enough that we were like, we're not going to drive the car to go see the waterfall. We're literally just going to walk. But I didn't want to walk because I had uncomfortable ass shoes. These are the shoes that I wore the entire time. They need to be cobbled. The bottoms are all fucked up. So they were uncomfortable shoes. I didn't want to walk. So I was like, I'm going to take the shorter walk into town. Also didn't see the need to drive the car there because it was like a 10-minute walk into town. So I'm like, I'm just going to walk into town. Versus a 20-minute walk and back to the waterfall. You know what I mean? Americans when they have to walk up. Okay, I walk, all right? I walk. You're not wrong, yeah. My Discord GIF game is peak. GIFs are so much easier, I feel like. That's mostly because we don't make our cities walkable. True. God, they're not walkable. That was the nice part about being in Canada, is everything was fucking walkable. If we had the option to walk and not use our car, we were gonna take it. I was just tired because my shoes hurt. There's a flip side to this. Europeans will be like, it's such a long drive, it's 30 minutes, right? Or the story of that guy who's like, I only ever see my family like twice a year. And then somebody goes, like an American goes, a British guy, he goes, I only see my family twice a year. And the American guy goes, oh no, that's so sad. Are they very far away? And he goes, yeah, it's like an hour drive. Bitch, I'd use an hour drive to get to the best mall. Whatever. And Americans will drive 3 hours just to hang out, right? I drove 6 hours to give a package to my mother because it accidentally went to my house instead of hers. Yeah. We drove into Canada because it was close enough. It was like a, 7-8 hour drive from where my family lives. So I flew into Canada, but they just drove up. And then we drove back through Vermont, and then we drove back to where we live. Not a big package, just one you can hold in your hand. Fair. It's perspective, all about perspective. True. Very true. But yeah, I really liked getting pictures in Quebec. I do like, now that I'm looking at it, really, all of the pictures do have a very nice fuzzy ambient feeling about them, which I like. Also because I suck ass at taking pictures. I can't blame that all on the camera being old. It is an old camera, but it's, what is it? 16 megapixels? Which is not many, but it is HD. Then again, a large portion of that 6 hour drive is Atlanta traffic. Oh, Atlanta. Yup. There was a time when a whole wagon train was needed just to move from one town to another. Travel distance is whack. True. Very true. Oh yeah, this is a castle we went to. I just really like this picture. I thought it was nice. Again, most of these pictures I have here, I was just like, oh, I really like this picture. I think it's pretty. And I don't get to show it off to people. I'm showing it off. I'm probably going to also put it up on Instagram. And everyone on Instagram will probably be very confused. But yeah, I just like taking pictures. Canada has castles. Yes, this one was built by the guys who invaded and cast out all the natives. I don't know what it's called. This is another angle. I don't know who they were. But those guys. Buff. They sell them quite often, yeah. I think this one is now a hotel. More so than a castle. But yeah, you can also, you can't see it here because I'm kind of on it, but like there's a bunch of walls and stuff surrounding the castle, but also like the land behind the castle. There's all these like cobblestone walls built up. And then I'm in like the lower area down here taking this picture. That's where the plebs lived. So the French or the British, take your pick. It was both. I think it was the French in Quebec. They were called something though, and I can't remember what. They had a museum in the underground area. So we went and we looked at it. That was interesting, but I don't remember anything. I was so tired for like all of this trip. This is very fun because this is a bridge that goes over a waterfall. And I took this image from the bridge because you can see the beginning of the waterfall really here. I thought this was a very pretty picture, so I was very excited I was like, oh, look at how cute. And I thought I framed it nicely, not perfectly, but nicely. I thought it was a good picture. And then I realized that this doesn't give you any perspective for how fucking big this waterfall is. So then I took this one. This is the bridge we were on. Right here, there's a dot. It's smaller than my cursor. I think I'm actually covering it. Damn it, I am covering it. There's a dot smaller than my cursor, so I'll put my cursor here for reference. That is the size of a person, and that person is still like all the way out here, not next to the waterfall. This waterfall is taller than the Niagara Falls. So we went to go see it, and you can see the top of it right there, and then it kind of plateaus. And that is the bridge that I was standing on here, where the picture that I took just happens to look like, oh, look at this cute, small little waterfall. Nope. For another reference image, this is me. This is me. All the way up there is the closest you can get to the waterfall, and it's still, like, very far away from the actual base of the waterfall. I was drenched in this photo, by the way. The mist was coming up and it absolutely I was trying to get all the way up here to take a good picture. I couldn't even take my electronics. Look at how much fucking water there is on the ground. It didn't rain. It didn't rain. That's just from the fucking waterfall. But yeah, so we went to go see this waterfall, out in Quebec. I remember seeing a channel that was showing it is cheaper to buy a castle than it is to buy modern Canadian houses. Yeah, it's true in America too. It is cheaper to get a old mansion because it needs upkeep than it is to buy a new house. And also prettier. But even with the even though they're like, oh, you buy this old mansion for like $2 and it needs a lot of work. The work that it needs is never more than just buying a new house. That's where we are right now. That's the cost of things. Quite a few names for them. Conquerors, colonizers, frog eaters, tea drinkers, yeah. But I meant like they called themselves something. I just don't remember what it was. Decent bleed out spot, right? Like right down here on the rocks. God. But yeah, so pictures. Oh, this was just a picture I took. It was blurry as fuck and it looks like it should be part of some found footage horror documentary. This looks fucking terrifying. When I saw it in real life, I was like, wow, this is so pretty. And then I took the picture, and because it's nighttime, it turned out blurry as fuck, because this is an old digital camera. You see Bonhomme just looks like a white statue all the way over here. So this looks terrifying. This is a terrifying image. This is amazing. The ghost train will be coming for you, right? Put this into an edit with the worst guitar music you've ever seen, right? God, just like someone plucking the same 4 notes on a guitar over and over again. I should do that. I should do that. Oh, I never put the sing thing. I was gonna put a channel point redemption opportunity for sing, and it was gonna force me to go grab my ukulele and attempt to sing and play something on ukulele out of memory. Would that be something you guys are interested in? It was something I did on my previous channel. I do not have to do it here if you guys aren't interested in it, but I always think it's funny. Just me trying and failing to play the ukulele and sing for like a minute. Cover of a Weezer song by someone who started singing a month ago, right? I can see it. It's a good picture, not in that it is objectively a good picture, but in that this is the worst, like, fucking found horror footage picture ever. And I love it. I have the points to it. All right, I'll have that going for next stream. Oh yeah, this is the picture I took. Did I only get the one? Yeah, I only put the one on here. So I tried not to take too many pictures, but this one was cool. But these were canoes made by the Wendake people that I just thought were fucking sick as hell. Everything about this whole experience was really cool. We literally just walked around and got like a whole guided tour about the Wendake people. It was sick. It was fucking cool. I don't have anything else to say. It was just cool. I do feel bad for my mom because she looks very obviously Native American. So everybody kept like they were trying her. They were trying her patience, my poor mother. I never get called out for being Native in the same way. I did exactly one time. Actually, I went, I was on a film set. We were doing background, and I got called out 3 times in the same fucking day. Once by the hairdresser, who was like, "Hey, are you Native American?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "Well, your hair is just so thick. Like, I've only ever seen hair this thick on Native people." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I guess that's the one trait I got. But also this other lady on the film set, this was not a film set. Like, I live in an area with a high population of Native Americans. So like there are a lot, I'm Northeast, they're from out West, so it's different, but like there are a lot out there. But fucking, this lady from across the fucking, we were in this cafeteria filming this, and this lady from across the cafeteria like raised her hand and started waving at me while the cameras weren't rolling, and she's like, hey, and I'm like, what? What's wrong? And she runs over and she goes, "You're Native American." And I was like, "What?" And she goes, "You're from the East Coast, aren't you?" And I'm like, what is happening today? I didn't expect it. I look, for all intents and purposes, incredibly white. But I just kept getting fucking called out for it that one day. It made me feel so good. I'm not gonna lie. I was fucking on cloud 9 the whole day. But yeah. So, bald ukulele singing, yeah, that would be fun. Ira's mother she speaks with the Great Eagle and Bison spirits. Unfortunately, yeah, she used to, she hates when I tell this story, but it's hilarious. She also tells it though. When she was a kid, she used to, pretend to curse people because she looks very, very, very. So, people would fuck with her, where she lived growing as a child, and she would be like, "I'm gonna curse you." And everyone would be like, "This is a joke, you're fucking with me, whatever." And she would go out into the woods, grab a bunch of sticks, lay them on the ground in indiscriminate patterns. Like, she would just make up shit. She would just put sticks on the ground and then start literally just dancing around the sticks. And everyone would, oh, she's cursing us. She did it once to a guy. He was being really fucking mean to her. He was calling her slurs, so it was deserved. But she did it once to a guy just to fuck with him, and he was like, "Psh, I don't believe in that shit." And then 3 days later, he got into a bus accident, broke his... 3 days later, he got into a bus accident and he broke both of his legs. He didn't fuck with my mom after that. He also stopped saying slurs, which was great. Anyway, this is when we went to Vermont. A little bit of a emotional whiplash moment. This is when we went to Vermont. I also thought this was really pretty. That's the town we were staying in down there, which I thought was nice. Here we go. You can see a better picture of it. These are the hotels and whatever. But yeah, this is the town we were in, just hanging out down here. Really pretty stuff. Really, really gorgeous. Little does she know. I mean, maybe. But yeah, just pretty pictures. We rode up on this fucking gondola. This was the most terrifying thing. This is the most terrifying thing that I've been on in a hot minute. It's not super steep. There's ground just underneath here. It's not very far off the ground. There's ground just underneath here. But it was very steep, so when you were going down and you were sitting this way, facing down, it looked like you were about to just tumble down the side of the fucking mountain. So, really scary stuff. Also, there was a film crew here. They were filming The Real Housewives of Rhode Island, I think? One of the Real Housewives. I think it was Rhode Island. I think that's what I heard someone say. But, they were like, there's like a very fancy restaurant that you can go and eat at, and they were up there eating and whatever, and I was trying not to bother them, and then they rapped. I heard the guy go rapped, and they all started getting into well, I didn't hear him go rapped. I heard him say cut. I assumed that they rapped. And so they all like got into one of these things to start going back down the mountain, and I'm like, oh, cool. In my head, they're rapped, so I'm like, now I don't have to worry about anything. So I saw them and they were looking out in my direction and I just smiled super wide and I started waving like a madman. Like, yeah, hi! Because I just like waving at people, frankly. And a couple of them waved back at me. And then my brother, who's sitting next to me, leaned in and he was like, hey, you know they were filming that, right? I was like, what? And he goes, there was a cameraman. It's a reality show. They don't rap. Like, there was a cameraman in there filming them. He probably got you waving to them. And he definitely got them waving to you. And I'm like, oh shit. So I may or may not be in the background of an episode of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Maybe. I kind of hope not. Also, if I am, you're not going to be able to see me very well because of the tinted glass, so I don't feel bad talking about it. But yeah, if anyone out there's a reality TV show person and they really like Real Housewives of Rhode Island, look for an episode where they go to Vermont. I might be in there waving crazy at them. And then we went out to... Okay, wait, I want to talk about that in a second. Good to know! Good luck. Breaking legs does solve all your problems. I mean, it doesn't solve problems, but I guess it does deter racists, which I think is better. Buff. Cool, beautiful. But yeah, we went to, okay, let me rephrase. I got a lot of pictures of this beautiful little place in Vermont called Burnham Falls. It is a gorgeous little waterfall, much smaller than the other one, only about 40 feet tall. Okay, so a much smaller waterfall. But I went on a trip with my friends to Vermont 5 years ago. I believe it was 5 years ago in 2021. It was actually the trip that I credit with me and the engineer getting back together. And we went on this trip and I was drunk the entire time because that's what happens when you're 21 and going on trips with your friends. But we rented this Airbnb. We were playing what is it called? Beer pong? We played beer pong with Jack Daniel's Black Label whiskey. I was very drunk. But we were there for basically an extended weekend. We got there early on Friday and we left late on Sunday. And while we were there, and I'm not kidding, the first 2 hours of being at this vacation that we all wanted to go to, I broke my foot. There was like a homemade seesaw that someone made that was literally just a plank of wood on top of a little log so you could go back and forth on it. And my foot happened to be in a very precarious spot when my heaviest friend jumped onto the seesaw and slammed all of the weight of everything right down onto my second toe and broke it. And it was very, very, very broken. And then the next day we were scheduled to go to this hike to this waterfall spot because one of the locals was like, oh, are you kids going to the local swimming hole? And I was like, hell yeah, let's go. So I hobbled my ass there on my broken foot. And it is like, it's a hike and a half. Like, it's a very short distance, but walking down are these stairs. Oh, thank you. Stairs made out of stone, like literally just rocks that happen to be placed in the placement of stairs. And they're like very, very steep. The reason why I credit this trip with me and the engineer getting back together is because I went with a group of about 8 friends. Of those 8 friends, 3 of them, the engineer included, were my potential love interests because there was one summer where like 3 different people all confessed to me. And fucking, oh, I have to go now. Bye. Hope everyone stays hydrated. Thank you. Bye. Have a great night. I will hydrate in your honor. I just want to tell the story. But bye. Have a great night. But yeah, of my 8 friends, 3 of which are love interests for that summer, only 1 person helped me get down those fucking rocks on my broken ass foot and didn't just go ahead to the swimming hole, and that was the engineer. The engineer stayed by my side and basically was like, are you sure you want to do this? You do not have to do this. If you want to go back up, I'll go up with you. And I was like, no, I want to do this. So everybody got down to this fucking swimming hole, which is underneath the waterfall. It's absolutely gorgeous. I don't have any pictures of it, sadly, but it's like the waterfall and then the area where you swim in. We went down. Everybody got down there in 10 minutes, and it took me like 40 minutes, and the engineer helped me down each of the steps. And then when everybody went back up, he was the only one who helped me get back up all of the stairs. So yeah, I picked him. Anyway, Hydrate got redeemed. If you don't know now, you know, but whenever Hydrate gets redeemed, I'm not the only one drinking water. I refuse, so you all have to drink water with me. So everybody go get a glass of water or tea or juice or some kind of hydrating liquid, because we all have to take a big sip. I refuse to be the only one who's drinking water, okay? Okay. We shall drink. But yeah, I'll eat an ice cube. That also works. But yeah, now we went down to visit. We didn't go to swim. Me and my family, because my parents are, you know, on the older side. So I was like, we'll just do the walk down to the waterfall. And fucking, there's fences now. It's not a secret water hole anymore, by the way. It's now like a wildlife conservation area, and it's got plaques and shit. There are fences now. There were not fences before. And the area underneath the waterfall that we all swam in 5 years ago has signs all over the place that say, it is not advised to swim in this, it is not advised to swim in this part of the water. Also, when we went, all of my friends, me included, were jumping off the rocks. So like, if the water is right here where this log is, the rocks were about as tall as this stick, and we're jumping off the rocks into the water. And there are signs on the rocks that say, do not jump into water. So, but yeah, no, it was fun. Yeah, and then we went to Ben & Jerry's Flavor Graveyard. This was at the request of the engineer, by the way. The engineer wanted to do this. Ben & Jerry's has a factory in Vermont where they do the Flavor Graveyard, which is this area where all of their discontinued flavors all get tombstones that have little sayings on them. So this one, cake batter for our 30th birthday. This party flavor was great, that by the time we retired it, we had turned 38. Just like cute little sayings and whatever. And there's a bunch of them. Like, it's small, but it's not that small. There's just a bunch of these things. When I walked in, I thought it was just gonna be, oh, haha, cute, there's a little Flavor Graveyard. I walked in and there was a Ben & Jerry's worker, dressed to the nines, all in black, gothic attire, holding a bouquet of black roses. And she has the most sorrowful expression on her face. And we walk into the gates, and she, like, comes out of nowhere and walks up to us and goes, "Are you here to pay respects to the dead?" It was so fucking cool! Anyway, so I got one of the black roses. I don't have a picture of it, but I put it on, not one of these guys, but a different flavor. I think it was the whoopie pie flavor. And I spoke to her afterwards, and she said that apparently Ben & Jerry's will bring back one or two of the discontinued flavors for Halloween as a zombie flavor, which I think is cool, for like a limited time run. And they will actually count how many roses each flavor gets, and they will use that to determine which flavors should be brought for the zombie run. Fucking cool. Anyway, yeah, so that was just really fun. And then we went to Lake Placid, which I just got pictures of that I thought were pretty. Good life instincts, right? This is what happens when you're 21 and you drink all day and you go swim because some random old guy in town said, "Hey, are you guys going to the local swimming hole?" By the way, 5 years ago, there were other people swimming in the water. It was not just us. There were other people swimming in the water. It was a place where people went to swim. It just isn't anymore. I don't know if something changed about the area or if it was just more dangerous than people realized it was back when they were using it as a swimming hole. But yeah. Oh yeah, this is the coolest part. Okay. On the way back home, we found out that there was a Star Trek museum where some guy got the original blueprints. He worked on the set. But there was a guy who got the original blueprints to Star Trek, the original series. And he rebuilt it. So we got to walk around the set of Star Trek, the original series, and take pictures. My dad is in most of the pictures I got, so sadly I can't share a lot of them, because I got a couple of cool pictures, but I obviously don't want to put them on the internet, for multiple reasons. You know what they say, for every sign is a story true. And I would hate to know the story, so you know? But yeah, so we got to just walk around, and it was everything. The transporter room, the engineering room, the warp core, the fucking, Picard's room, Bones' room, Dr. McCoy, the bridge? I'm not a really big Star Trek nerd, I promise. Actually, I don't really care if you guys think I'm a Star Trek nerd or not, but I'm not. I like mostly I like Lower Decks, and I like a couple of episodes of The Next Generation because that's the one my dad grew up watching, so that's the one I grew up watching because he watched a lot of the reruns. My favorite episode is the one with Worf, by the way. Worf's birthday episode is the best episode of The Next Generation. Fucking cool. Why didn't you go to space? Unfortunately, it was just a set. I cropped it out of all of the pictures, but right on the top here, they built it like a sound stage. So right on the top was all of the lighting that they would have used, like the lighting rigs and the camera rigs and everything. So that way it could be as accurate as possible. So this picture looks like it just is on the starship, but literally right above this red line, it was cameras and lights. Which was also cool. We had a tour guide. It was an hour-long experience, and the tour guide was basically talking about the production history of the original series and a bunch of cool stuff. They said it was a very expensive series. Star Trek continues to be one of the most expensive series on TV, if you can count streaming TV. But to try to cut costs, they were like basically just getting random things from anywhere. So they had a bunch of like resin buttons because they could just buy a tube of resin and make resin buttons. They had all of the like dials and levers and things that you see in the show are basically, because World War II had just recently ended around that point, they went and they basically got a bunch of scrap metal from like the planes and stuff, and then the submarines, they just harvested all of the dials and buttons and things, and they repurposed it. Fucking cool. But yeah, this was the, again, all of my pictures turned out pretty bad for this section of the vacation because I was filming on a digital camera from fucking 2006, so my bad. But this was the med bay. This actually did move up and down because everything was to specification. You could sit on it and go up and down, which is fucking cool. They talked about this screen apparently back in the day. Again, these are bad pictures, my bad, but this says like temperature, brain, lungs, cell rate, blood T2, like different things, the pulse and whatever. All of these things, the colors changed, and the white dials here went up and down, and they used just a TV screen because they didn't want to go super realistic for this particular part. Everything else was like essentially one-to-one except for this. But apparently back in the day, because obviously TV wasn't like this back then, they just had a guy back there moving all of this. It was just rigged up. So there was a guy back there with buttons and things that would change the lights, and he would literally just physically by hand move the positions of things so that way they could put someone on the table and instantly the lights would come on and all of the monitors and stuff would start fluctuating to show how science-y and realistic it was. And that's fucking sick to me. There was a guy whose entire job was just to man this fucking screen so that it looked like a modern screen back in the 1960s. Fucking cool! But yeah. This was also part of the thing. I thought this was cool. She pointed out these were all medical devices used just slightly before us, but not completely before our time, which are on there just to basically be like, yes, even though this is science-y, this is still a medical room. So this was put up basically to just reinforce to the audience, because if you're watching in the 1960s, you see these things, they're medical devices, and you go, oh, cool, the medical room. But the guy pointed out, how fucking terrible would it be if we went into a doctor's office today and there were just like arcane, like ancient medical artifacts, like old chainsaws meant for like operating on women, hung up in your doctor's office. And she said it like, how awful would this be? You would lose faith in the doctors. But all I was thinking was, that would be fucking cool. If I walked into a doctor's office and they had a collection of plague era crow masks hanging on the wall, I would trust that doctor implicitly. Fuck yeah, dude, you know how to ball. Did you mean archaic? I did mean archaic. Yes, thank you. I was trying to think of the word, thank you. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's just me though. Yeah, this is Bones, Dr. McCoy's room. All the skulls and stuff, which were skulls from various different animals that they tried to get that seemingly reflected what maybe a skull would look like for one of the creatures on the series, which I thought was nice attention to detail. This is Picard's room. This is his bed and everything. Fucking sick. This was engineering. This is engineering room 1. So this isn't the one connected to the warp core, but the other one. And something I want to point out here, the arcane medical tools used by witches of the old time. I know, I blanked on the word. Although, I mean, they did believe in magic back then. Arcane technically isn't the wrong word if you think about it. Plague doctors with their masks stuffed with cloves. I mean, but yeah, no, I did mean archaic. Yes, that was the word. But something I thought was really cool, my family also got pictures of this, but they were getting pictures of this whole experience on their phones. So all of the pictures were very high quality, whereas because I'm using an old digital camera, I actually like the quality of the kind of blurry images I'm taking. It just adds an air of legitimacy to everything. When you look at this, unfortunately, I don't have a picture to share from my parents. They didn't send me one in time. But you can just see that these are all knobs of resin, and you can see the light, like they basically used Christmas string lights underneath all of the resin to make them all light up and glow. And you can see that very clearly because their phones are so like high definition HDR pictures. But because mine blur everything out, it looks a lot more legitimate. These look like just like lights and knobs and buttons. You know what I mean? You can kind of see it here where they're just resin. But once you see it from like further away, it looks very realistic and very cool. So I do think that the slightly blurry nature of this camera helped a lot with this particular area. This is the old warp core. I had to get a picture for the engineer. He's also a big Star Trek fan. So yeah. This, unfortunately, this picture is actually blurry. It's not just the camera quality. I moved when I took the shot. That was on me. But this is the bridge. And guess what? This is the bridge. This is the bridge from Star Trek, the original series. And guess what? I got to sit in it. I got to sit in the captain's chair on the bridge. This is a picture my brother took, not on my camera, although it's been scaled down because I had to blur my face out. Unfortunately, this is the world's worst pose, because I was like, I don't know what pose to do. And my brother said, you should try to do, not Riker, you should try to do Ransom from Lower Decks. You should do Ransom's pose. So I was like, okay, and I leaned in, and I tried to do Ransom's pose, but yeah. Not a good picture of me, but how fucking cool! I was right there! I was sat right there! I was sat right on that chair! That's me! Yeah. No, I was very happy. This was very, very exciting to me. But yeah, I believe that's the end of the pictures. Yeah. So that's how my vacation went. The music cut out. That's so sad. I'd use medieval in that context. I associate archaic with a much older era. Fair. Very fair. Actually, incredibly fair. Yeah, I just got so excited. Look at me on the fucking, I'm on the captain's chair. Oh man, I'm on the captain's chair. It's so good. I was very happy. My dad also sat on the chair, but I didn't get a good picture of him. All of the pictures that he was in turned out incredibly blurry, and also I'm not allowed to share them. So, but I did get a lot of pretty good, like, we were with it was a big tour group, like maybe 30 of us, and Dad was the first one to sit in the captain's chair to get pictures, and he sat in the chair, and he leans back, and he did the classic Picard, where, Picard, where it's just like with the slight man spread and both of your arms on the arms of the chair and just looking straight ahead. And like everybody was quiet. And then some guy from behind me went, "That's the look," which I think really boosted Dad's ego. So, pretty cool. But yeah, that was vacation. I was so happy. I was so fucking thrilled. I was just really thrilled and really excited the entire time. Captain Ira, yeah. Specifically, archaic Greece, it's in the name. Fair. You know what? I've never really used archaic in referring to Greece before. Not saying that that's not how you use it, it is, I know, but like, I wouldn't have thought of that. That's not where my brain would have gone to the first time. Hell yeah. Pardon me, sorry. But yeah, I'm fucking exhausted though. I got in from vacation last night because I also went to go visit my family and my cats. But I got in last night. My fucking my flight home. We all boarded the plane. The plane was supposed to leave at like 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when my plane was supposed to leave. And it was supposed to get to my home around 10 o'clock, which would give me just enough time to sleep and be ready for the next day I had work, you know? So, ancient Greece is divided into multiple ages. Archaic is one of them, and the one most people think of when it comes to ancient Greece. Oh, cool, I didn't know that. Wait, that's so sick, actually. What the hell? Damn, I gotta do more. I gotta research Greece more. I don't think I'm very well versed in ancient Greece, actually. I didn't know that it was called archaic. Wait, that's so cool. Okay, I'm gonna remember that for the future. Well, we'll see if I do. I'm gonna try though. But yeah, so left it 5, was supposed to touch down. No, left it 2. I was supposed to touch down at 10. And my flight we all got loaded on the plane at the right time, okay? We were all on the plane. And then the captain comes on and he goes, "Due to inclement weather, we are basically taxiing around the airport. We are behind about 20 other airplanes who also need to leave. They're only letting one of us out at a time in order to keep everything safe. It's gonna be about an hour." And we were like, okay, an hour delay. Sounds good. At least we're on the plane. Everyone is boarded. All the luggage is taken care of. No stress. And then we wait the hour. And then the captain comes on again. He goes, "Okay, folks, the weather got a little bit worse. So we're going to have to delay a little bit longer. Because they're not letting anyone take off until the weather gets a little bit lighter, so that way we can let people take off again, and then once that happens, there's still about 10 other planes that need to go before us, so we're looking at maybe another hour." And we're like, fuck. Okay, this is fine, whatever, I'll still get home at midnight, still have time to sleep before I have to go into work tomorrow. It is what it is, you know? And then 45 minutes pass, and then the captain comes on again, and he goes, "Okay, folks, we're going back to the gate." No! So he says, "We're going back to the gate. because unfortunately, due to flight regulations, because we were delayed so long, if we try to leave, there's still like 5 more planes. And if we try to leave, I will not be able to continue doing this flight because I had just gotten off a previous flight and there are rules that say we're not allowed to fly for over a certain amount of time. So I'm not allowed to take this flight, basically. We're going to try to figure out what we can do for you, if we can get you rescheduled, if we can get another pilot down. We don't know, but we're going to go back to the gate. We're going to unload the plane. Everybody just relax. And everyone's like, back! So we go back to the gate, and we're sitting at the gate, and we're sitting there for like an hour. And they have not given us any information about how long this might take, what the course of action is supposed to be, whatever. So now our plane's been delayed by 3 hours. And I go up to the front to the lady. She's put out a couple of snacks. I grab and some water, which is kind of her. And I grab some snacks and some water, and I'm like, all right, I know other people have probably been asking you this question, but do you know anything about what's going on? Do you have any idea how long this might take? I just need to know if I have time to go get food. I was kind of banking on getting food when I land, and I can't do that if we land at fucking 1 a.m. And she's like, and she looks at me, and I feel bad. And I didn't curse at her. I was just like, I'm so sorry for bothering you. I know that this is hard. Do you have any information? And she looked at me, and she looked so fucking stressed, and she goes, no, I don't have any information. And I'm like, okay. And then someone next to me goes, well, do you know how long that this sort of thing normally takes? Because, like, I just like to have some information so I know what's going on. And the lady goes, no, I do not know how long this normally takes. I don't have any information. This is why I don't work in the summer. I'm supposed to be on fucking vacation right now. And then she goes into the back. And me and this guy just look at each other and we're like, oh, we're not getting home. Luckily, they were able to find a pilot. The pilot comes in. He's like, I am a fresh pilot. I have not flown. This is no problem. Let's all get on the plane. And we're like, yay! And we get on the plane. We're all on the plane. Thank fucking God. And then we're waiting. And then the new pilot comes on and he goes, so folks, due to the weather, there's about 20 planes in front of us that can't take off. And it's gonna be about an hour. We did take off after about an hour, which was nice. The pilot did come on about halfway through the flight, and he's like, hi guys, I don't know who you are, but I just want to put out a big thank you to Justin. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you do, but apparently they very much want to have you back in the place that I live. So much so that they are giving us all kinds of shortcuts through the air to get you home. So I didn't get home as late as I thought I wasn't going to get home until like 5 a.m. I got home at about 3 a.m. I had to call into work. Now they hate me. So that's a whole, because it's so bad to call out the day after you get back from like a week-long vacation. So now they hate me. They're not scheduling me so many hours. But joke's on them. I don't want them to. So all's well that ends well. But Jesus fucking Christ, I'm tired. Oh my God. And it was literally nobody's fault in this situation. Except for maybe the airlines. Why would you schedule a guy? Whatever. But like, oh man, it was just a bad situation. It was such a bad situation. There's many ages, starting with Greek Dark Ages, when it was recovering from the Bronze Age collapse, followed by Archaic Greece as it was growing again, then Classical Greece, the Hellenistic Greece, then ending in Roman Greece. Okay, yeah. I know about Roman Greece. Hellenistic Greece... Yeah, because the myths, the ancient Greek myths are all, like, from various different times of Greece, right? Like, I know that's a whole thing with Hades. Oops, hello. Hi! Penguin? Is your name Penguin Greg? Penguin Greg? I'm sorry, I don't have my glasses on and I'm really tired. Hi, Penguin Greg, how are you doing? I hope you're well. Wait, hi! How are you doing today? I just got back from vacation, so I'm just telling vacation stories, and just catching up with stuff, but I hope that you're doing well. Anything fun and exciting happen? I'm checking to make sure everything looks good. I think it does. Hellenistic Greece is when Alexander the Great was doing his stuff. Okay, is Hellenistic Greece when the Library of Alexandria burned down, or was that earlier? That's a new one to the collection. A new way to say, is that not your name? Penguin. Oh, Penguin Gagnete? Is that how you? So it's definitely not Penguin Greg. Sorry, I'm sorry. Oh, buff. To translate in English, Penguineer. Gotcha. Okay. Sick name. I really like that. That's really cool. That is a very fun name. I take it you very much like penguins then? Do you have a favorite kind, like emperor or the little ones? I don't know very much about penguins. The actual stories of ancient Greek myth are said to take place during the Bronze Age before ancient Greece. Right, but there's also the like the myths themselves originated from various different times in Greece, right? The only reason why I even slightly remotely know this is because there's a channel that I liked on YouTube for a long time called Overly Sarcastic Productions, and I believe she was a major in Greek mythology, so she would tell stories of ancient Greek myths, but she would always, like, she did a deep dive on Hades, which is where I have all of my information on Hades, where she talked about, like, all of the various different iterations of Hades and where they came from and what came first, and during this era of Greece, this was happening, and that's why he was known for this, and that's when this myth happened. Overly Sarcastic Productions, by the way, really cool YouTube channel, I recommend. OMG, Overly Sarcastic. Yeah! You know them? I love Red and Blue. I only ever watched Red's stories, but I know Blue was also there. The myth ever evolved because it was made during cults of many cities. Yeah. But its roots went back to the Mycenaean era, which was the last era before the Bronze Age collapse. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I know, like that, what's it called? The story of you know, the great god Pan is dead! I think that was a Mycenaean thing? Maybe? But there was the cult of Dionysus. Somebody was taking their boat past an island where the cult of Dionysus was, and it was a member of the cult of Dionysus that shouted something that then the boat heard as the great god Pan is dead. I think. I don't remember. It's been a really long time since I've watched her videos, and she's really the only one that was, like, keeping me informed with ancient Greek myths. By the way, probably favorite is Adelaide, but close is Gentoo. Favorite baby king. Oh, the penguins! Wait, I have to look these up. Adelaide. Close is Gentoo. All right, let me look up the Adelaide penguins. Hold on. I can't copy it. Oh no, I can't copy it. All right, I'm just gonna have to type it. All right, let's see how this goes. Hopefully well. Okay. Adelaide. Oh, okay, they're cute. All right. Yeah, I like these guys. All right, cool. Hell yeah. Adelaide, I've learned a new penguin species. That's very fun. Thank you. We know basically barely anything about Mycenaean era because most of our knowledge on it is mythology, which isn't the most accurate. Yeah, fair. Very fair. That's my favorite thing about, like, fuck, what is it called? What is it called? I can't remember. It escapes me. I've lost it. Never mind. Ignore me. Oh, Atlantis! That's one of my favorite things about the story of Atlantis, because everybody's like, oh my god, it's a fully true story. It is a fully true story about a civilization that went under the sea, and we need to find it. And then you read the story of Atlantis, and I'm like, this is propaganda. This is propaganda for Athens. Literally, they say, oh, and then the descendants of the amazing city of Atlantis, after it went under, moved far away to a place that we now call Athens, and their bloodline, which is full of gods, became what we know as modern-day Athens. It is Athens propaganda! God. We barely know any. Oh yeah, Atlantis started as a metaphor, like most myths. God, I can't fucking speak today. Yeah, that, and also I'm pretty sure it was propaganda. Again, I do not have a major in this. It is entirely possible I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But it was Athenian propaganda. I will die on this hill. God. But yeah. Buff. Sorry, I just looked at the picture of me in the captain's chair again, and I got very happy. I'm so happy I got to sit in the captain's chair. Oh my god. But yeah, there are, I don't know. I like Greek myths, but I like the myths themselves. Orpheus and Eurydice, Eros and Psyche, like, the myths themselves, the actual, like, making of or everything is a little bit beyond me. I know that, because of overly sarcastic productions, I know that, shit. Hades! I know that Hades was Persephone, goddess of the underworld, came before Hades in terms of how old the myths are. But Hades is the king of the underworld, whereas Persephone is known to be Kore, goddess of spring, now turned Hades' wife. But I think Persephone was always associated with Hades, the place, more so, and then Hades came after. And again, it's been a long time since I've learned about any of this. Like how the pharaohs of Egypt claim to be divine. I think everybody claims to be divine. Most every poly god religion, the leaders will claim to be divine, I'm pretty sure. Because they say Ra was the first pharaoh, yeah. I had a weird-ass dream the other night that had not the Eye of Ra. In the dream, I thought it was the Eye of Ra, and then I looked it up, and the internet told me that what I actually saw was the Eye of Horus. Oh, shit. Oh, that's the engineer calling. I will call him back in a moment. I probably am gonna end stream shortly, though. I'm so fucking tired. But yeah, what was I saying? I am so sorry, by the way. Penguin, if you're still here, I apologize immensely. It's not that I'm not normally like this, but I am usually a little bit better at holding my train of thought, at least by a small margin. I just got off a harrowing plane experience, and I'm really fucking tired. I apologize. Buff. Hades is a character who's been so fucking screwed up. He was the first demonized and then romanticized and never portrayed accurately. Very fair. Horus and Ra, yes, that's who I was talking about. Your engineer, yes. Yeah, my engineer. The guy who works on me, who keeps me going, keeps the gears ticking. My partner. Coming home from work. Horus and Ra were so similar, they were even merged into one god at one point. It's Iris neurodivergency. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but hey. Yeah, I had a weird fucking dream. Oof. Thought you had an IRL degree, currently doing mine. I have a degree, but not in engineering. My partner does actually have a degree and a job in engineering. He is an actual engineer, but I'm not. I have, 12 credits in engineering, and then I decided that I was gonna take a different life path in college. Buff. I'm really bad at math. Like, nothing wrong, thought someone else was in hell. Fair. Yeah, that's partially why I transitioned out of engineering. It's rough, man. I wish you so much luck, but if you can stick through it and get a job, it will be so good for you. In this day and age, it's hard to get an engineering job, but once you have one, you have one. Like, you've got it. So, you saw the undecided being eaten by wasps and decided to escape? Yeah. Yes. But I do have credits. I took a lot of engineering courses. I've got credits from RIT, actually. I don't have a degree from RIT, and that's all I'll say. Once referred to as Ra Horaxi. Is that how you say it? Ra Ra Horakthy? Which means Ra, who is Horus, the Two Horizons. Gotcha. Even with just a bachelor. Yeah. Good luck, I believe you. Solid mechanics. I don't think I got that far. I was in mechanics field. I was originally going to be a mechatronics engineer. I wanted to go into mechatronics. I wanted to, actually, I had a dream of being a Disney Imagineer and make animatronics. And if not that, my backup was to go into movies and do animatronics for movies. Partially, one of the reasons, partially I got out of engineering because I'm really bad at math and I was having a hard time and I saw everybody else was also having a hard time and I was like, you know what, I don't think it's worth it. But also partially I got out of it because both of those career fields were kind of the only thing you could do with mechatronics. And I went to college in 2018, which is, I would say, the height of CGI in movies. Like, they were not using animatronics in movies. So everybody told me, like, if I wanted to go into movies, it would be better to go get, like, a degree in production rather than trying to do mechatronics. And then I got a degree in digital media management, which has not helped me much. So, of the Two Horizons, yeah. Nearly got mine. I'm mechanical. I think my engineer is also a mechanical engineer. Happened twice because when Amun rose to prominence, he was merged into Amun-Ra. Yeah, I've heard more of Amun-Ra than the Ra and Horus merging. But yeah, I had a weird-ass dream that I used to have a book called Egyptology, so it's not like I was uninterested in Egyptology, but I had a weird dream about it. I had a dream that I was working at night, because right now I sadly work part-time retail job. Yes. Right now I work a part-time retail job trying to make this all work, and I had a really horrible night, and I was the only person on register, and it was a Sunday night, and I had like a huge fucking line, and it was terrible. And I didn't get out of the store until like an hour after we had closed. So, I had a nightmare that night about being stuck in a store at night closing, and there's just a bunch of people, and then this woman comes up to me, and she's wearing like all black, and her face is like partially hidden in the shade because she's wearing like a black hat that has like one of those veils that obscures your eyes. And she comes up and she's like, "This is a lovely night." And I'm like trying to do the retail jokey thing where I'm like, "Ah, ha, ha, very lovely, would love to experience it myself." And she laughs or whatever. And then she's like, "Would you like to know something interesting?" And I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "I want you to take a look at my forehead." And she lifts up her hat, which has the veil. And on her forehead, she has this symbol that slowly moves together to form what I now know is the Eye of Horus. And she goes, "What symbol is this?" And I go, I think that's the Eye of Ra. Why? And then she goes, "I want to tell you something." And she reaches over the counter and puts me in a bear hug. And she puts her mouth right next to my ear. And she starts talking about how my dad's gonna die. And she's like, "Your dad's gonna die on this random day in June next year. And he's gonna die trying to eat ramen noodles." My dad, by the way, has celiac disease. He would not be eating ramen noodles. So I'm like, "What the fuck, lady?" And I wake up. And then I looked it up online and I was like, "I think I saw the Eye of Ra." And I look up a picture and I'm like, "No, it was opposite that." And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, the reversed Eye of Ra is called the Eye of Horus. And it symbolizes protection." I'm like, there was no fucking protection happening in this dream. This lady told me how my dad was gonna die. Oh man. Wild dream. I told him about it and he thought it was absolutely hilarious. He thinks that I'm stressed out because he has a lot of medical health conditions. That could be the case, but like, she said specifically he was gonna die eating ramen noodles, and I thought that was so funny. God. Anyway, sorry, I'll catch back up with chat now. Trust me, you saved yourself. We are half cooked too, at least here. Yeah, fair. Egyptian myth is weird, true. Props to them for having a green one though. Very original, right? Plus I'm getting cooked by Bachelor already. I'll enter the workforce like freeing exits to retirement. Oh, good luck. Good luck. I believe the eyes face different directions to symbolize the two horizons. Yeah, the Eye of Ra, I believe, is left, and the Eye of Horus is right. Or no, switch. The eye of Horus is left and the eye of Ra is right. Ra, like making an R for Ra. Really weird dream. Only one I remember of mine was basically counter D-daying on a beach near me, then drinking a pill. Interesting. Very interesting. I have a lot of like dreams that like I tell my friends who are very spiritual. They're not Wiccan, but they're like related to like that area. They're like in that Wiccan area of religion. And I tell these dreams to my friends and they're like, I think that you're communicating with gods. And I'm like 90% certain that I am not communicating with gods. I would like to say that I'm probably just doing the brain thing where I'm coming up with random bullshit and my brain is filtering it through my emotions and giving me a hallucination. But I mean, there's a 10% chance. Hey, what's up? God. I'm more about how stressed I am. 2 days ago, I dreamt about having a heart attack, left arm itch and everything. Ooh, that's scary. Oh my God, that's terrifying. Oh, thank you. The engineer just gave me a brownie. I got a brownie. Yay! This brownie is all edge pieces. This brownie's all edge pieces. You did this on purpose, didn't you? You're laughing. You're laughing hysterically. He just slapped the brownie out of my hand! Oh, he gave me a new one. Yay. Be careful, they're a little bit stale. But yeah. Flame says, good job. I should stop complaining about the brownie. He laughed and shook his head. There you go. Also, I'm not gonna unnotice, so I'll ask, are the three main wheels, shoulder and center, connected? Ooh, I get to show off. Hold on, let me show off. Hold on. Let me show off. If I go over here, is this gonna... That works, that's fine. Okay. Actually, I don't know if you can see anything. Yeah, that's fine. Boof, 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 boof. Ignore the glitching that sometimes happens. Yeah, kind of. So I don't have it all totally... Sorry, I'm moving this over here. I don't have it all totally completely connected, but they're all spinning in the right direction. But you can see I have all of the other gears in the back are supposed to be connected. So like this gear is making this gear turn. This is supposed to be connected to it. It's not totally accurate. I know this is not how gear mechanics completely work, but you can see here like these two gears are connected to the little things to make the big one move, and the big one is connected to like my heart and stuff. Yeah. The center one should spin counterclockwise. I debated that for a long time. Originally I had it so that this one spun clockwise, this one spun clockwise, this one spun counterclockwise, because I'm like, oh, like if I lift this arm up, I'm trying to bounce to see if the physics are not super accurate here. But if I bounce, if this arm moves up, it would go in like that. But I wasn't sure how to do it. But I ended up just going all of them going clockwise because aesthetically it looked the best. But yeah, I did try to put some like, most of the gears are broken, sadly. So they do not function, but I did try to put a lot of effort into making sure that if they were connected, it at least kind of sort of made sense in some way, shape, or form. Now, if I turn my head to the left, everything completely glitches out and they come off of my shoulders, but we ignore that part. I also have, hold on, gears here. The part of my model that you literally never ever see, but I've got gears and wires bouncing around in here, and I have the wires are all connected. They're supposed to look like muscle fibers, and I've got some wires with physics bouncing around in there, and then I've got a couple, like the gears on my knee are working, and then a couple of like loose floating wire gears that don't connect to anything because they are broken. But I did my best. I also am working with the limitations of, this is the first time I've ever drawn and rigged a model of my own. I did all of the artwork on this, by the way. Hi. So I think that with that in mind, I think that it looks pretty okay. I'd like to think. Buff. Oh, I can also take my hair off so you can see a little bit more. Yeah, I've got a couple of gears that are covered by the hair that are spinning, but not very many. Most of them are broken back there because I never put my hair in the back. So, but yeah, gears, yay! Boof. Buff. Just peel away the skin to see. I'm bald. Okay. No, that was good timing. Very, very funny. Good job. The center one should spin counterclockwise because the big one is clockwise. Center should be counterclock, and then the right should clock. Yeah, you're right. That probably would be like the best way to do it if you were to actually create a system like this. But for aesthetic reasons, I chose to put them all in the same turning wavelength. But yeah. Boof. Only you knew an engineer who knew how gears work. Gears are one of the easiest to learn, really suggest on YouTube videos. Yeah, true. I probably could have put a little bit more effort into making it actually like function in a fully proper way. But the gears ended up being a cosmetic thing and I ran out of time. I did this all with my 40-day free trial. So I kind of, after I got the rest of the model to work, then I worked on the gears. So it was kind of a sort of a last minute thing, sadly. But there is like correlations in there, like these guys both turning to make the big ones turn. And then these guys are supposed, like this gear turning to make, yeah, I tried. Keyword tried. Buff. If two gears are connected, one is clockwise, the other should be counterclock. Right, yeah. Realistic. 11 out of 10, thank you. You did a very good job, thank you. I did my best. I take the hair off. Yes, you do. Buff. The only ones are spin ratios, so big wheels spin and small ones fast. Yeah, that was the other thing. This should really be spinning a lot slower than everything else. And these all kind of just... They got aestheticized. I would definitely say they're aestheticized. Buff. Once I noticed I couldn't unsee it. No, you're so fine. You're so fine. I imagine this is one of those, like the, like in Project Hail Mary, when he puts the, centrifuge! When he puts the vials in the centrifuge, but he doesn't balance them, and it pisses everybody off who knows about centrifuges. But, like, everybody who doesn't know about centrifuges is just like, cool movie, good science, you know? This is gonna end up being one of those things, I think. The physics are also all broken on, like, most of everything that I've got going on here. But yeah. Very fair. Did the vacation take away your hair? No, Flame took away my hair! I was just showing off the gears. Also, hi, Zan! How are you doing? I'm so sorry to say this, but I do fear that you've come in at the end of the stream today. Buff. All right, I'll put us back. There we go. Oh, whoops. There we go. You can use the excuse that there are two smaller gears that spin counter. Yeah. Yeah, I hope it's a good enough excuse, but yeah. Yes. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it today. Buff. I have other stories from vacation. Oh! Sorry, I had to move myself. I have other stories from vacation, but I'll let them come up naturally. Pardon me, there were other funny things that happened and other weird stuff. Like, I'll tell you about, oh, why am I lagging? Oh, I got a new follower. Oh, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. I didn't realize I was gonna lag everything out. Thank you, Penguin, thank you. Yeah, I've got other stories. Sorry, I had to regain my train of thought. There were other stories. I'll let them come up naturally as we continue. I do not believe there's going to be another stream this week, but we should be back to the 2 streams a week schedule starting next week. So that'll be Wednesday, the 26th at 4 p.m. EST, and another day. I don't fully know what yet because I haven't gotten my schedule back from work yet. So once I have my schedule from work, I'm going to put up an infographic on all of my socials. So YouTube, Twitch, no, not Twitch, YouTube, the other one, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, any of those are going to have it on there. Yeah. So that'll be up there. But yeah, I will definitely be live again next week, Wednesday at 4 p.m. EST, and another bonus day that will come up. I have no idea what we'll be doing. I'm too tired to figure it out right now. I gotta go to sleep. I gotta go sleeping so bad. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Oh, yay! I have my hair back. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm so sorry, Zan. I'm sorry you came at the end. I wish we could have spoken more, my bad. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you guys so much for being here as always. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day and or night. All right,